Yeah, I call it a telemetry tree or telemetry tower. It's actually a tripod for a halo lamp light for green screening. I'll show you that a little later. But I've got a SkyDroid 5.8 receiver on it here. This is one of the Hollybro 433 telemetry radios. If I'm doing 433, this is one of the CAUV 433s, just to see if there's any difference in those. And this is one of those JR drones 1 watt 915s that I ended up using with all my 915s. You can sort of see the PVC in the top. That just lets me take this whole thing, off the top. Let me find a tripod. And what that did was allow me to easily take this whole assembly off the top, just like that, and separate it from the tripod. And then I could put back in its place the Yagi antenna on that system. And as you can see, that goes right down here and connects to the ready-made RC 1.2, 1.3 video receiver here that I was using in the past. And so I can easily swap those two out. And I can also then point this if I need to. I still don't have my antenna tracker working. I'm still working on that. So that's basically how I have been using that. Like I say, switching back and forth between different things. Just real easy to do. The tripod actually broke in this area, but it does go very, very high. If I run this one up all the way, oops. And then the second one all the way. The top gets pretty darn high. I'll measure it here in a second. I'm trying to find a background that will let you see it. So with it extended out like that, it does go up pretty high. And the movement helps pick it out of the background of the trees around the house here. And I'll get a tape measure here real quick and measure its height. And that should show it a little better there against the house. It's 8 feet 6 inches tall when it's extended all the way. Now let me see if I can figure out where I bought it so I can show you that. I would love to have another one too that's not got the little plastic part right here broken, because it could, well, actually it doesn't go up much more, but that little plastic collar right there is broken. It's been working for me for years, but let me see if I can find where I bought it and show you that. Oops, actually I remembered that this part can also come up a little more, not much, but I think that would get it up to about 9 feet above the ground, which is pretty substantial. And I can't find exactly where I bought that tripod. It's sort of a tripod, but it came from a setup like this. And you can see here's exactly that one right here. Right here. I took the assembly off the top, and what this is, it's a halo or hair light for doing green screens. And it comes, I got it with a kit like this. I cannot find the exact kit I bought, and you can see the boom here that goes out to another softbox light that goes overhead and points straight down. When doing green screen, blue screen, there is a lot of problems with, oh, and here's a picture of it exactly by itself. You have a lot of problems with hair and the bleeding through in the hair area without a halo light, or as they call it here, hair light. That pretty much solves that problem. But that is where I got it. I got it as part of an overall kit. So I dropped back to punt and started sort of researching it for myself, because the bottom of my stand is bent, and then there's a break in that plastic collar, and sure, I've got all sorts of adhesives around here. But and then as I started looking through this stuff, because it's basically a halo light or hair light, but what we're both really talking about is the stand itself. So I sort of started looking for the stand to replace mine. $427. I like died. Let's see how tall this one is. $72 a month. No, this is icing on the cake. I do not need to replace it actually at this point. 13 foot. Wait a minute. Yeah, looks like it's 13 feet. So that's pretty darn good. Mine's only 9 or so when you extend it to the limits. This can come up, but past perpendicular, these arms are perpendicular with the ground. Anything above that, of course, is going to bring these legs back together. And I do have about 6 inches down there before these support arms become perpendicular to the ground, and that starts again closing up the legs. But I ain't paying $427 to replace a stand that's sort of broken. And here's another one. I think this is, no, that might be the size of softbox, but this one is, yow, another 13 feet. Yeah, looks like it's another 13 foot tall. So these are better than what I finally found, but I can't pay $624 to replace something that's not technically broke. So I found this, and this was how I basically got that stand. And this was more, I still am not going to pay $229 to replace a stand that essentially isn't broke. It is in 2 places, but it's purely cosmetic. This includes the 2 stands for and a crossbar for the green screen, 2 stands for the 2 soft boxes, lights, everything. The hair light, I'm going to change from calling it a halo light to a hair light. Looks like these new people have changed the name on me. The hair light, stand, boom, and I don't know if that's a separate. I just had sandbags from other reasons that I put on my boom when I was using it for a halo light. Oops, hair light. So I got to looking through this at the bottom, and it was talking about the individual parts of this. And I saw that these were 9 feet. These are the stands for the backdrop. So these are backdrop stands. 9 feet. That's about what mine goes to. And as I came on down, they started talking about other stands versus the Linko stand. So they're really into this stand. And see, that's the same top as mine, and mine has 2 places. I think this is exactly my stand. So, make a longer story short, I started searching for just that stand itself and immediately came over here onto Amazon in a link and found the Linko Zenith 9-foot photo stand for $34.99. Now, I still don't think I'm going to replace mine because the leg is bent. The garage door closed on the leg one day. Oh man, the garage door didn't even slow down. It's got a photo sensor on it, but there wasn't anything in the beam. It evidently doesn't have a micro switch set up on the part that the travel part of it that would turn it off if it felt any pressure, which is a real easy thing to do with a micro switch. Anyway, so there's you $35 stand. Goes to 9 feet. If you're rich and got $600, you can get one, or even $400, you can get one that goes to 13 feet. I kind of like that myself. The problem for me is USB cables get kind of long, past about 10 feet. Most cables, audio, signal, not a lot of people know exactly what kind of trouble they're starting to get into past 10 feet. The good part is it frequently doesn't manifest itself until people try to take it over 20 feet. The first time they tried to do 50 feet on some of this USB and audio, they're going to get a big surprise. Anyway, that sort of answers your second question, I hope. Well, it wasn't really a question. I was looking for it myself. But again, for my little old bent leg, and that I could probably straighten. I'm afraid if I try to straighten it, it will break because it's thin wall aluminum. Yeah, you can imagine for this price, this isn't premium grade. So there's where the garage door bit it. And I stopped the door pretty quick. But it is bowed. And it is bent, damaged. But it's so slight. Most people wouldn't even notice it. It doesn't hurt a thing on the functionality of it. And this broken collar right here, the plastic, I think I glued it once and it just didn't stay. I don't have good luck with adhesives. But no, I don't even think for $35 I could. I'll spend it someplace else. That's a whole GPS. All right, guys, thank you.